Knowing something about the Qur'an might, in another time, have been an ornament of the moderately learned. Not now. Now we face a world where knowledge about the Qur'an must deal with militant misuses of it and blatantly distorted reports of what it says. To help the majority of believers in Islam, and to be helped by them, we must see how far terrorists have departed from the book they say they believe in. Influential people in our country tell us blatant lies about the religion that is followed by millions of peaceful Muslims, and we have no way to correct those claims unless we look at the morality of the Qur'an. Yet there are many people who would block our reading of it. They think the Qur'an is not for reading, but for burning. A cranky Southern pastor put the book on trial for crimes against humanity and condemned it to the flames with terrible consequences abroad. It is a bit unfair to put a book on trial without reading it. William F. Buckley, Jr. had a more genteel punishment for the book. It should be banned from schools, lest children read it. Why? Because it inspired the Muslims of 9/11 to kill people innocent of any infidelity this side of not adhering to it. Presumably, it could inflame children to burn down their schools. Mr. Buckley was hardly alone in blaming the Qur'an, which he clearly had not read, for the attacks of 9/11. Donald Trump was believed by his devotees when he claimed that he saw, that day, thousands and thousands of Muslims in Jersey City cheering as that building was coming down. When Jersey City police and reporters were unable to find any trace of such a gathering, Mr. Trump claimed that he saw it on TV, though no one could find a TV record of the fact. Trump's real gift was for intuiting what many people wanted to believe and for serving that desire. A Reuters Ipsos poll in the summer of 2016 found that 78% of Trump supporters thought that Islam was more likely than other religions to encourage terrorist acts. Actually, a range of polls around the world found a majority of Muslims opposed to the World Trade Center attack and other forms of violence. One extensive world poll by the Gallup organization found that 93% of Muslims opposed the 9/11 attacks. After the 2005 terrorist bombings in London, a YouGov poll for the Daily Telegraph found only 6% of British Muslims fully approved of those attacks, while 88% did not approve. Of course, as the noted Islamist scholar Patricia Crone points out, the approval of Muslim aggression is greater in countries where there is a majority Muslim population than in countries like the United States or the United Kingdom, where Muslims are a minority. But a Pew poll found that even in majority Muslim countries, most Muslims oppose terrorist acts, like suicide bombings. More important, perhaps, is the fact that the Muslim majority that disapproves of terrorism is more religious, more Quran-based, than the minority that approves of terrorism. The latter act more on secular motives like resentment of colonial powers. Indeed, Patricia Crone notes that terrorists are theologically illiterate. People like Osama bin Laden and Ayman al-Zawahiri don't even seem to know their own tradition all that well. Rather, they have stripped Islam of practically everything that most Muslims consider to be their religion. Thus, when ISIS claimed to be acting from the Quran, over 120 Muslim scholars denounced this as a perversion of the sacred text. Many Muslim spiritual leaders deny that the Quran allows or blesses terrorism. 38 of them signed a document of the Islamic Supreme Council of Canada saying that no believer in the Quran may join the Islamic State or claim that its efforts are a legitimate jihad. An edict saying the same thing was signed by 70,000 Muslim clerics in India. Similar edicts have been issued in Spain, Egypt, and elsewhere. It is not only Muslim authorities who say that the Quran does not favor violence rather than peace. This is also a judgment about the book reached by studious non-Muslims, from a secularist genius like Edward Gibbon to a deeply pious man like Pope Francis. Gibbon wrote in the 18th century, "A pernicious tenet has been imputed to the Mohammedans, the duty of extirpating all other religions by the sword. This charge of ignorance and bigotry is refuted by the Qur'an, by the history of the Muslim conquerors, and by their public and legal tolerations of the Christian worship. And Pope Francis wrote in the 21st century, "Authentic Islam and the proper reading of the Qur'an are opposed to every form of violence."